Alright, it's been a minute, so I figured let me habit stack and do a video while I'm driving my kid to school. So that's one of the benefits of retiring. You become a dad taxi, so but wouldn't change it for the world. So I think what I want to talk about today is retirement, right? And the overarching topic is you don't have to be particularly burnt out to retire. And I use the word retire, I'm using that loosely, right? Because obviously we still have task and purpose in retirement and doing things. We're just doing things of our own accord and in our own time, so to speak. So I was having a conversation with somebody, and it brought up another old conversation I was having. So I was at work one day, and I was talking to one of my co-workers, and just shooting the crap, shooting the breeze, and kind of having your little cubicle talks and discussions and your physiological discussions or whatever, right? And something popped in my mind, and I was talking to my coworker, my good coworker, and I'm like, bruh, this doesn't end. And when I say this doesn't end, I'm like, war, conflict, and things like that. It doesn't end. Mind you, I came in the military when I was 17, and I retired at 45. So I've seen a lot of presidents, a lot of situations, a lot of conflict, been deployed, etc. But I was talking to him one day, and I was like, bruh, you realize all this stuff is going to outlive us? So I started bringing up, remember Nikita Koloff, Sergeant Slaughter, the Iron Sheik, and those wrestling tropes that were kind of built up, and obviously Hulk Hogan, All-American, and all this other stuff, however you feel about him or whatnot. Obviously I grew up on Hulk Hogan, WWF, etc., and the wrestlers at his name. And it's like, we kind of need conflict and need these things to go on. So I'm thinking like, yo, this is never gonna, the Chinas, the Russias, etc. This is never gonna end. It's gonna outlive us. And we did important work at my job. But I always say like, this is gonna outlive us. We're never gonna wake up one day and it's gonna be world peace, anything like that. We need these things for the military industrial complexes to go on, and everything that kind of comes along with that, and militaries and etc. Right? So, me personally, I could have stayed at I enjoyed my job. I enjoyed the job. The things that kind of got to me was the getting to the job. So waking up, getting ready, ironing clothes, or picking out clothes, or whatever. I'm talking about post-military, picking out clothes, even during the military. Picking out clothes, etc. Once I got to the job, I was locked in and doing my job, and I enjoyed the people I worked around. And then it was obviously the end of that, right? You get home, you're tired, you really don't have any energy to do the things that you might have wanted to do, because it's all encompassing of your job. The bulk of your day is spent at a work site. So I had to say to myself eventually, like, man, what do I want? Now, if it was just me, I could work forever or work until I'm physically incapacitated to do so. But those busy days at work, and I'm clicking on all cylinders, man, I loved it. Loved it. The day goes by like that. You feel accomplished, and you get those days done. But the days of the slow tempo, and you're at work, and you're thinking about, you're at work, it's a slow day, and you like, dang, I'm sitting here for 8 hours. What else could I be doing in these 8 hours, right? And, especially when you talk about military and things that come involved with the military, missing kids' appointments or important events if you're deployed and things of that nature. And I'm like, it kind of hit me in the head like, yo, the only thing that we really have that's ours is time. And yes, we sell that time for a dollar amount, hourly wage, a salary. We sell that time to somebody else, that we get compensated for our time. But the reason why I left, from the speak of my personal journey, is, again, I could have kept working. I was making a wonderful salary. I could have kept working, but it's like, man, especially as you get older, you kind of start looking at you get older, you start looking at time different, and then you start thinking like, man, I'm closer to 50 than I am 40. Where do I see myself at 50? Do I still see myself sitting in a cubicle or sitting in the office and doing this type of work? Or do I want to take the time to see, yeah, your kids are only 16 once, 17 once, 18 once. So my kid that's recording this right now, he's 19 right now. I'm dropping him off at school. He's in college right now, or whatnot. If I'm at the job, I don't get to experience that. And I like him recording me because he get to kind of hear the story too. Because a lot of kids don't really know what's behind the scenes, right? And as parents, we kind of do that. We don't want you to see the what's behind the curtain, so to speak. We just want to make sure that our kids' lives are better than ours. So what I have to say is that you don't have to be burnt out to retire. And chances are, if you're kind of waiting for that age of retirement, as they kind of put it out, you're probably going to be burnt out by that time. Then you're going to retire. You're going to be older. Let me say, I want to be ages here. You're going to be older, and you're not going to be able to fully enjoy the things that you are able to do at a young age, walking, hiking, bike riding, etc. While you are still in your prime years to do so. So I just had to make the conscious decision. And again, I'm not ever saying that I'm never going back to work. My youngest son, he's class of 2028, and who knows, I might be an empty nester then. I might have a totally different view of life on that. But I'm saying, retiring from the military, and back to my last video, receiving a pension and being afforded the opportunity of time. I gave up my time, and now I'm trying to take some of that time back and put that time where I see is best suited. And that's on personal interests, my kids, making sure, they're doing what they need to do for our school, and me being involved and things of that nature. And you can't really put a price tag. You can't put a price tag on that. So, again, I don't want people to look at retirement as a number. I know we talk about the 59s and a half, the 65s and whatever, but retirement is not particularly a number, especially if you do the things now to kind of set yourself up to receive income where you don't physically have to be somewhere for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, or whatnot. So that's all I want to talk about today. Kind of get some encouragement of there is life in retirement. There are things to do. I know a lot of people, even when I was kind of in military and I was talking to retirees, they say, no, I had to come back. I was bored, man. I just had to come, or whatnot. And I'll probably do a video on that, on routine, because you definitely, in retirement, you need a routine, or that boredom and that stuff like that is going to creep in and probably make you rethink your decision on why you left. And then obviously that paycheck too. So, but yeah, that's all I want to do. Kind of habit stack here while I'm driving, and then while I'm driving, put out another video. But again, just if you're thinking about retirement, or if you're already in retirement, hey, just put in the comments, what are your routines? What is something that kind of gets you through the days and the weeks and the months or whatnot? I'm not at a year point yet post job, so I would like to hear what other folks got to say and kind of whether they find joy in doing post retirement. Or if you're thinking about retirement, we can talk about that too. So what they say, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it. One.